Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In our last video, we saw how to fetch data using the fetch API with endpoint, a great way to get started with data fetching in React and Net. But in today's video, we are going to learn how to fetch data directly from the database using the server component. No API, no extra setup. This approach is not just faster and cleaner, but also more secure and scalable, and it is a foundation for upcoming advanced features like server action and data mutation. So if you are working NextJs 15 or you just level up your full stack skills, you don't want to miss that. Let's dive in. So first of all, let's see how we can fetch data directly from the database into the server component. So there are the two key regions from where we can fetch data directly from the database using the server component. So region 1 is the server component have direct access to the server side resource. That means your database queries are fast and seamless. No need to bounce through API layer. Second reason was, since everything happen on the server side, there is no risk of exposing sensitive information to the client. No API route, no token on the front end, just secure server side logics. So in this video, today we are going to use two types of tools for the database, for data fetching from the database in the SQL in the server component. We are going to work with two super helpful tools. One was the SQLite, a simple file-based database. Store data directly in your project folder. No setup, no extra server setup required. Perfect for learning, testing, and prototyping. Then we have a Prisma, a powerful tool to interact with your database. Makes writing and reading database queries simple. Act like a translator between your code and the SQLite. So let's move on to Visual Studio Code and start start installing the Prisma and the SQLite on our folder. So let's move on to the Visual Studio Code. So here we already come to our Visual Studio Code. So for this, to fetch the data from the data, first of all, we need to create a Prisma. So let's install the Prisma product. So for this, we need a command. I can run npm install. I can write npm install Prisma for dependency, dev dependency, and press enter over here. So we need to wait for it when it's going to be installed. So after that, we have to let install complete installation get started. So now let's install SQLite for the Prisma. So I can write it in the terminal. We can write the command npx Prisma init data source provider SQLite, as we are using SQLite as a database. So press enter over here. So what this command do? This command will create a folder, create a Prisma directory with having a file schema.prisma file in it. So here on the right hand side of the folder structure, once this command complete, it will create a structure, Prisma structure over here. Prisma directory. So we need to wait for it in order to complete an installation. So here, after running this command, here you can see on the right hand side, a Prisma folder has been created, and inside this we have a file with the name schema.prisma file. So open this file and you have to replace the database URL in it. For this, we can write in the URL as it will change it to file into single quotes file as app. Okay, now we have to save it for the database URL. Now in this file schema.prisma file, we can add a product model for it. So what could be, so in this, so that we have to create a separate table for the product. So let's add a code for it. We can create a model. In order to create a table in that SQLite, we need to create a model. For that, we can define the structure of that particular table. So let's add this. It is a model having an ID of integer at ID at default auto increment. Okay. After that, we have title, which is of type string. So we are taking these things in consideration. We are saving this thing in the database, and then we are fetching from the database to the front end side. Description, it could be of string. string code graph, and then we can save it. So this is the model. Now finally we can run the migration to create the table from the schema dot. As already we have created a model for product. Now we run a schema command for that. So what could be a schema command for migration? We can run a command like mpx prisma migrate dev dash name init. It will create a migration folder in the Prisma. So I think there could be some issue in the integer type. So it could be int, not capital. So save it again. We can run a command again. So we need to complete, so that here now you can see the migration folder has been created on the left hand chart. In third migration there function and file migration file would be there. App is for any app, all database file will be there also. So now your database is not synced with your schema. Here you can see that SQL database app is being set up properly. Now they are installing the Prisma engine for Node API for Windows. Okay, and for the migration, if you go to the package.json, the migration helps us to install the Prisma client, which basically interact with the your server component and the database. Actually, it is a mediator between the database and the your server component, which can interact with the database to fetch or update query related to that. All the operations related to database can be done with the help of Prisma client. So now we have already set up our database on the Prisma client to talk to the database. So now let's implement the CRUD operation in this. Now, as you know that we have already completed building the tables and the schema part. Now we have to build a SQL operation related to the database. For this, we have created a new file with the name inside the CRUD folder, and we can create a new file with the name prisma-db.tsx. Okay. Inside that, we can add several functions related to the database, like for the CRUD operation. So for this, quickly we can start building that. So for this, first of all, we need to take the Prisma client on top of that. So let's start building it. So we can type import. We can bring Prisma client. Prisma client. It could be of Prisma, not extension. We simply need per client. So Prisma client import Prisma client. Let it be for the extension itself. Then okay. After that, we can create a variable called Prisma. Inside that, we can create a new Prisma client. Okay. Now let's create a feed product. Feed product are the demo product which we are going to inject into the table of product for which schema which we have created in this video. So for this, we can create a constant. We can type feed product, and it is async function. Inside this, we can give a feed product. Okay. Inside this, we can create a count variable which have, and we can use await prisma dot product dot prisma. We can take it as not for capital. We can take it as p small. Okay. Capital already we have using above, so we can take it as prisma dot product dot count. After that, we have, if we need to check the condition, if count equal to 0, then what we have to pass? Then you have to set await prisma dot product dot create many, and in that many it is a product, a data of object, that array of object would be there. Inside this, we can have a title of product 1. Then we have price of 500. Then we have description of description 1. Then we can just copy it and create we need to create 3. So we can give a name, add 2 or 3 to it. We can change the price also of each product. Now we can give 1000 to it and a description of 1 or 2 and 3. We can also give a comma in the end. Now we can call this particular function after this. So we run this particular seed comma, run this seed function. Okay, so how we can call this? So we can type seed product and we can call this particular function. So this will inject. So once this particular function run, it will inject all the detail inside the table or inside the product table database, inside the product data. This data can be saved into the product table. Okay. Now let's see what other function which we have. So for other function we have just copied from the, and you can key all the operations there. Copy all the functions which we have created. So these are the function. So here you can see we have number of functions like get product, and we have get product on the basis of the ID, and add product for adding the product, update product to update the details of the product, and the delete product on the basis of ID. We also give a promised timeout for the timeout delay of 1.5 seconds. Okay, so this is how we can create the Prisma database. So now let's call this particular data on the front end side. So let's move on. Let's create a new file in this. Let's create a new file in this. For this, in order to fetch the data in the front end. So let's create a folder with the name product -db, and inside it we can create a page.jsx over there, page.tsx. Okay, it could be tsx. Now in this we can create a function to access the data from the database and showing the value on the front end side. So for this we can fetch the get product from the prisma.db. So for this we need to call the function like get product from the prisma.db. So for this we can go to the page.tsx and we can import. We can write import and we can take an alias of get product. So here we can get the prisma.db over there. So now we need to create a product type. So let's create a type product, which is of type. In this we can define the thing which we are going to display in the page.jsx over there. After that ID, and it could be a title which is of type string. Then which is of type string. After that we have description. We have description for it, which is of type string. Then one more thing, we also have the price for it, which is of type number. Okay. Now this we already created a product for this. Now let's create a function which are responsible for displaying our product detail on the NextJS page. So for this we can create a function like export default function. So function. So I give this product. I give this page name as product page. Okay. Open this particular function. So in this inside this we can create a variable for the name product. We can take a variable name with the product which is of type product. Above there. It is an array. In this we can use await and fetch get product. Get product. So it is not get product, it is get product. Okay. Now we can give a thing. Now one more thing that you are showing that we are using it, so we need to make our function as async function, because we are dealing with the database. So we need to make our function as async function. So for this now we need to, as you can see that we are getting the product. Now what we have, how the data could be returned. So enter this we can use a return statement, and enter this we can create a UI for that to display the data on the NextJS page. So for this I can create a UL over here, a UL element, and I give a class name of using the tailwind CSS as space 4. After that we can give. After that we can create a we have a product dot map, and we can use the product over there. for this, we can, what we have to return to, we need to take li over here. Inside li, we can, inside li, we have h2 tag. Inside li, which we have h2 tag. So inside h2, so we can display the product title over here. Okay, product dot title. Okay, now in li we can give a tailwind CSS. So we can add a tailwind CSS to it. First of all, important thing that we can also have to add the key so that we can uniquely identify that particular li element. So in key we can pass product dot id over there. For the class name, we can give a tailwind CSS classes to it. So p_core bg white, I can bg white. Okay, shadow md, rounded lg, and text grade could be 700 with an 700. Okay, now in s2 tile we also have to give the tailwind CSS to also here. So let's add this. So in the s2 we have text excel. After that we have font semi bold. Then we have a 2 p tag below h2. So let's create 2 p tag. You can inside li, it is both are li, inside li. So you need to copy that here and create a new p tag over there. We have to describe the product, the product price over there, and in the third p tag, we can type the product dot description. Okay, so it could be a description. Now let's add a tailwind. CSS to it. So for the price, we can add it inside that. So we can add a class name. We can add text lg over there. Then we have font of medium. Inside for product price. Okay, for product price, we also need to add the $sign so that we can show that it is a product. Now we have already completed this, and now let's go to the browser. Let's start our server. So I can type a command like npm. We can npm run there. Let's start our server. So as you know that we are facing some issue in the Prisma client. So for this you have to install with the name Prisma. So you have to go to the server. So you have to use npm installed @prisma /client and also Prisma over there. Okay. So if you go to the package JSON over there, so Prisma client were also there, and you have also the Prisma also over there. So you have to install both. If you are not installing both, then you are able to get the same error which we are getting this before. So I have just reinstalled it, and after that you have to run npx generate Prisma, and then you have to run npm run dev. Once you complete this all the procedure, or your code will be working fine. And now we go to the browser. Then now here you can see that we have a working example of this, how the things will be loaded on a page. So the page is still loading. So because it is compiling this all the things, now here you can see our product detail are over there. So this is all for today. So in today's video, we have done how to install the Prisma and the SQLite, and also how to display the data in Next.js page with the help of SQLite and Prisma. And we have just saw how easy and powerful it is to fetch data directly from the database using server component without needing API route or exposing sensitive information. It keeps your code cleaner, it boosts performance, and is super secure. This method set the state for what coming next data mutation, where you will be able to update your database directly from the component. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next video in the series. Got any question or want to deeper dive into Prisma, SQLite, or server action? Drop a comment below. I will love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.